What's up, firearm convention junkies? So I am setting this barrel, this white oak 18-inch barrel, right now in this upper. And some people ask me, or have asked me, is it hard to put an upper in, a barrel into an upper and torque it down? No, not at all. Since this is not a BCM, like I've mentioned before, this thing just slides in. Sorry, this thing just slides in with ease. Okay. Um, I was shooting it and running some drills, and my groups are all over the place. Problem is that this barrel nut came loose, and my barrel was going like this, which it should not be. So, rookie move. I did this about 4 years ago, and I didn't put one barrel shim, and I truly, to up until 5 minutes ago, I did not know I had no shims in here. So it was completely loose. The timing was off on the on the rail. There's a rail that broke hair group in the handle, and it was just flopping all over the place. So I'm going to show you guys how to set a barrel in there. Now there's lots of people have different ways. Uh, you can use the armor's wrench. It's actually on the lawnmower right there, and you can get your wrench. The good way to do it, like we did with my Geisley this morning, when we put the Liberty Gunworks barrel in, we torqued it 50 pounds on, 50 pounds off, 50 pounds on, 50 pounds off, and then 50 pounds on, 50 pounds off. Yep, 3 times. Just so we set the threads on there, and then we torqued it down to 60, and that's how we usually do it with the torque wrench. Um, and then that's pretty much it. But I'm going to show you how I use the shims. I got a few shims right here, and then in I pulled out my 358 Winchester dies, and I just found a whole bunch of shims in there, which I'm going to use. I'm not going to show the torquing on camera because nobody likes me, so no one ever hangs out with me, and I don't have a tripod to hold the camera in place. I'll do a pause, and that's it pretty much. But I'll show you guys what to do and what not to do, like I did a few years ago when I started building. All right. So last couple years ago, I did one like this, and I threw on the barrel nut. All right. Made it super tight. Took my rail, slid it on. Said, those holes. Let's see if I can get a good picture. Let's see if I can. Those holes somewhat match up. That'll be good. Ran it, and then since it wasn't torqued down, it was just torqued by maybe some channel locks on there. Over time, my barrel started going like this, and I was doing some drills, and I was putting the AR back in the car, and I'm like, ooh, that's what's wrong. All right, so take it off. Yeah, it looks like it. All right. Then you use these shims. The shims are all different sizes. I have so many random shims here. Some are really thick, some are not. And basically, let's just say you start off, let's say I'll grab this one over here. Okay. Then I can run my AR nut. Now this rail is a Gun Tech, so it's not anything too high end or anything like that. So that's on my hand, so I know it's going to come down like a 1/4 inch or so. And then I want to see. So right now, my holes, if I set it correctly, my holes. Oh, come on, camera. Are a little bit too high right there. So if I'm going to tie it down, I want it to come down a little bit more. So when I torque it down, that barrel nut is square with my rail. And then when I torque it down, that's square to the receiver, to the upper receiver, same thing. So I want a little bit more. So I'm going to take this one off. And I'll grab this blue one right here. Try this one here. Throw this one on here. Yeah, this big boy's ready to work. All right, throw this one on here. And then it's the same process. Go on there. Then I check it. See how the holes, I don't know if you can tell. Oh, come on, guys. Come down a little bit more. So that's pretty much perfect. Because when I torque that thing down, it's going to come square right to those two holes right there. And I know I'm good. If I go too much, I'll back it off and I'll add another shim. It's just a process. But the way not to process it is just forget about your shims like I did. And then that's it. I usually, since I don't have something to do a torque wrench on here, I'll probably use a little bit of Rockset and just torque it down super tight. But if you're shooting, if you put it on a rail with no shims and just stick it on, you're like, what are these? And you throw it in like I did in a box, and your groups are all over the place and shooting everywhere, it's probably because your barrel is going like this. If it's a new barrel. All right. I'm going to pause it and then I'll show you when I'm done. It lined up. Now when you put on the Rockset, just put a dab on each side. Nothing much, not too much. And then trick is tie it all the way in, get on those threads, loosen it up, tighten it, loosen it, and that's it. All right. So I'm going to torque it down and I'll show you how I have it set when I'm done. So I have it torqued down now, pretty tight, and there is no movement at all. All right, we have about 60 pounds right now, 50 on, 50 off, 3 times, and then 60. And then if I square it up to the top, you'll see that those holes are matched up now. I can't know why it won't zoom in. So they're matched up now. So all you gotta do is torque these down, and then I'll be done. But before I do that, we usually do 20 or 25 torque. I'll ask Josh real quick. And once I'm done that, that'll be it. But I won't do that until I set my gas tube and block, and then I'll do a brake on here, and then we'll go from there. All right. So I figured I'd show this before I go to my next step, which I can't really record right now. So I took the gas tube, that's there, rifle length, that's 18-inch. Threw in my roll pin right there, pressed it in. Man, it's easy when you have a 20-ton press. This goes on like this, goes on the barrel like so. There you go. And it's just going to go on like that. So that's the gas block. I had to loosen up 2 screws over here. They were all the way through. Tube goes up there. Oh, come on. So once you get that sucker turned on, you can go over here on the bottom and tighten up the clamps underneath. And then